What's up, YouTube? Today I am back with another banger. Today I have a great video for y'all. So today we're doing a reaction to the Vice channel. This video actually came out 13 years ago or whatever, and it's crazy because I feel like a lot of people right now are on this waking up journey or whatever. This is a part 1. I might do a part 2, who knows. It's a conspiracy of the lizard Illuminati. This is a fact. I know it's real, regardless of what y'all say. These are they provide evidence themselves. So let's just get into it, all right?
For as long as I can remember, I've had an interest in what some people condescendingly term conspiracy theory. You see, I was born November 22nd, the anniversary of John F. Kennedy's assassination. And every year on my birthday, there's been televised specials on practically every channel talking about magic bullets, grassy knolls, other shooters, as well as CIA, FBI, and mafia involvement. Even by the age of 10, this spoke to me. And of course, there were UFOs, the Illuminati, occult Nazis, organized satanic networks, faked moon landings, and CIA mind control programs. Hell, even if this is all bullshit, it was fun to read about. It was in 2000 that I first discovered David Icke's book, The Biggest Secret. In it, he writes about a global conspiracy, a hidden hand manipulating humanity's destiny through the shadows, using those who seem to be in power. And the goal of these shadow people? Nothing less than an Orwellian global superstate with total control at the hands of an ancient reptilian shape-shifting race. So we took a ferry to the Isle of Wight to spend the day with David Icke, Britain's leading conspiracy evangelist and the one man standing between us and total enslavement.
You know why they're like showing us everything now? And like I said, this video was 13 years ago. I'm pretty sure he was ridiculed and called crazy and all type of stuff just for making this video. You know, it's crazy how we have to title things like this conspiracy so that way we don't get sued. But if you slightly make up a mistake to their truth, it's like they're gonna try to get you for it. I've had a video recently mentioning, let's just say his name is Sil Bates, okay? And my video was taken down off of TikTok, even though I had screenshots of him literally saying these things. But it's okay. Trapped in this mindset of still consuming for their consumption. Because that's really what they're doing, is consuming us. But they're doing all these things like getting adrenochrome, eating flesh, all type of stuff. They're very satanic. But it's not just about a religion or whatever. It's about the magic and spiritualness behind it. People have gods that they believe in, because it's multiple. You guys be thinking that you're praying to one God in the Bible. Amen you gotta watch what you're saying. Like, there's different deities that you're playing around with here. So when they're praying to their gods and they want certain things like eternal life, well, they have to give things and they have to sacrifice things, because these gods need to consume and they need things as well. And it's a whole thing behind it. It's as sick as a human killing a cow or a chicken for its consumption. You know, that cow is who you are. You're the sheep, the sheeple. So
hey, Kev, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Good trip?
Yes, it was.
Welcome to my abode. There's not much to see, but I like it.
What do we got here?
Well, this is things that I've collected over the years. This is fantastic. Someone in Hawaii actually painted this. This is what the painting is. This is the original of the front cover of my last book, Human Race Get Off Your Knees, The Lion Sleeps No More. And I asked my great friend, an artist called Neil Haig, to paint this picture for me with particularly those eyes. And that's humanity saying, no more, enough, no more little me, we're not having it anymore.
In 1991, David Icke didn't believe in secret shape-shifting lizard fascists. He was a television celebrity. After arthritis had ended a promising career in football, he'd become a broadcaster. But that all ended in one remarkable appearance on the Terry Wogan Show.
David Icke,
In a turquoise tracksuit, he'd announced that he was the son of God, and the world would be ending that year. It didn't, and Icke seemed destined to disappear beneath a typhoon of public laughter.
So it's quite funny, really. 2,000 years ago, had a guy called Jesus sat here and said these same things, you would still be laughing. It's really, really funny that we've not really moved on that much.
They're laughing at you. They're not laughing with you.
Fine.
But Icke wouldn't disappear. He began to write. And over a series of increasingly successful books, he began to...
You know what happened to him? He was getting downloads, but didn't know what to do with them. He was probably getting, in his conscience, the world is going to end, the world is going to end soon, the world is going to end soon, but not knowing when, because time, if you think about it, is not real. Flying in an airplane is passing time. You're going through time, because you're worlds above passing all these states, but they're moving a lot slower than you. So 8 hours for you in a plane is a lot more distance than 8 hours for somebody below that's walking, Same as an ant. 8 hours for them is completely different because it's really just the speed of light that creates time.
Line his philosophy. Humankind was not in charge of its destiny. It was the unwitting prisoner of a race of shape-shifting lizards who occupied the roles in the highest echelons of society, from presidents to royal families.
She don't look like a reptilian to y'all? She don't look like a reptilian? You trying to tell me she don't look like one?
To royal families, all trusted public figures were secretly part of a reptilian, Satanist pedophile group.
I'm cracking jokes because I'm really trolling, but still, at the same time, I know that they're reptilians, but still, these motherfuckers, they look like reptilians in the face.
Who'd been on this planet for centuries. People began to take notice of Icke, and today he spends most of his year preaching to amphitheaters full of fans. He's still making startling revelations, and recently he declared the moon to be a hollowed-out planetoid space station from which our minds are controlled. The lizard's very own Death Star.
Don't mention the reptiles.
Don't mention the reptiles, yeah. Because there were people...
100%, and I agree, and I feel like they're in cahoots with the Greys, the Tall Whites, the Pleiadians, like they're all working together because they're trying to control something that is uncontrollable, which is the end of their extinction. What it really is the sun will provide energy to you that burns out toxins. It regenerates the brain, the body. It's like going through photosynthesis, right? So when you're going through this process, you start to lack the desire to have the food that they created for you. And then also, we get back to our natural state, which is using things like our psychic abilities or telepathy, wanting to naturally ground to, because this comes to us without effort. It's like just knowing, and it's always been it's within us. So I do believe that they use the moon to control the frequency, and that's why on a full moon, everyone's so dangerous. The water of the tides and everything like that in the ocean is just, or the tides in the ocean is just a mess. Everything's a mess on a full moon. Us women have a lot of cycles during the full moon.
Started to come in. People who were kind of into my stuff up to that point, which was kind of regular fight. Well, it was a bit strange because it was all the way the war was manipulated by a few people, but it was all kind of regular stuff. And then I came across with this stuff, and it was
Get it out of the way.
Don't mention the reptiles. They'll just laugh at you again. I said, I know, but I've seen enough and heard enough to believe that it's real, and so I say it. I don't care about the consequences for me. Are you frightened? No. I'm not. I don't care. Because the consequences for the world and my children and my grandchildren and everyone else's of humans not intervening in this process that's going on now ever more quickly are that we are condemning our children and grandchildren. Indeed, ourselves, it's that close to a world that George Orwell so massively understated.
Can we have a look at where the...
What he's basically trying to say is people like him or people like me are willing to sacrifice being ridiculed, humiliated, made fun of, called crazy. We've been like this for years and years and years and years because we're so sure of what is true. That us as a people that, and by people I mean people that think like him or me, have one common goal and we've never met. is to make people aware to be able to see what we're able to see. And it's not hard to see. You just have to slow down, pay attention, be paranoid, be curious. I don't mean paranoid as in like you're looking around on your back all the time. I mean check every detail about every little thing. Look in the ingredients of things that you're consuming. Look at every detail to the name of what you're watching. Do research. A lot of things that you guys are feeding into, as far as even Zeus Network and all these things, all go back to Greek mythology. Look at the construction of the buildings. That's what I mean by be paranoid. I don't care if I'm the old lady cooped up in a house somewhere by herself. I don't care if I never get in a relationship ever again. I'm so detached from this world and its lustful desires, and what it is trying to consume your brain because it understands your power. And I don't want to give in. I refuse to give in unless I can see a reflection of myself in someone else, or my reflection of myself in something else, something that brings joy to me and happiness without having to sell myself. Because y'all are thinking that it's just celebrities selling their souls. Selling your soul is having the awareness for something, but then at the same time you're giving into it. Why be an aware slave? Why choose to do something when you have a choice? Some people didn't have a choice, but in this day and age, they're giving us a choice. They said, you guys can choose to take payment and continue to work for us. And guess what? You can use your money to buy jewelry, nice cars, fancy clothes, all of these things just to continue to be a slave. And us as a people in this day and age, in 2025 going to 2026, nobody can say that they don't have a phone to see what's going on. If you want to distract yourself in the clubs, if you want to distract yourself going on trips every day, even though when you're going to trips, you're in a hotel, you're in a resort, and you're not adapting to the culture at all to really see the poverty, to see how corrupt the government is, to see how nice and great some countries are living. You're just trying to live in the fantasy of an escape away from work, a relationship, responsibilities, whatever. That is delusional, you know?
Where the work gets
Yes.
done, where
Like
it
everything
all
it-
happens.
This is where it all happens, and as you can see, it's really small.
It is really small.
Because, you know, I look at my life, and I don't see my life as a life anymore. I haven't for a while. I see it as a job.
So this is the new one.
Yeah, this is
in
the
German?
this is the German version, isn't it? Look at the size of
Jeez,
that.
yeah.
350,000 words. That, in one book, is the scale of information that has come into my life about these things. See, that is not a theory. That is evidence supporting a fact.
What was like the first book that
It definitely feels like a job. I feel like my world stopped 20 years ago, and I'm 24. I remember my first experiencing something. I was sitting on a porch. I was in Jamaica. I was sitting on a porch, and I looked up in the sky, and I said, if there's a God, draw a S in the sky. And immediately the clouds formed. I don't care if you believe. I know my own personal experiences that I've had throughout my entire life, not just at one point, but my entire life. It's a daily experience. You know, at this point, I could write a book, but nobody would believe, right?
It struck you? Because I know there was a couple for me, but you're familiar with Robert Anton Wilson? And
Yeah.
I just liked it because it was funny and it tied a lot of points of interest together. And he sort of pointed me in different directions, even though he wasn't really a conspiracy theorist trying to say anything. He put things together I never saw. You know,
Right.
he'd connect dots that had never occurred to me, which turned me to like Holy Blood, Holy Grail, and some of these. Other things.
That you've just hit the nail right on the head of my work and what you need to do to understand what's going on. Connect the dots. See, there are dots like banking, government, all these different things. 9/11, which in and of themselves are interesting.
If you look at 9/11, you could tell that it was bombed from the inside. If you guys already don't know this, play Jenga, build a tower, and throw an object at it. Watch as the towers fall like this. They're gonna fall like this. They're not gonna fall like this. It makes no sense. Like, and to think that they really made this plan out, it just doesn't make sense. The only sense it makes is to people that have not, I don't know, maybe you just lack awareness and you lack like intelligence. I don't know, because it's just like, this is just obvious.
And you can see that something's not right. But when you connect the dots between apparently unconnected people and situations and organizations, that's when the tapestry appears and you go, whoa. So that's what's happening.
David had told us that his first moment of enlightenment had occurred when a voice entered his head while shopping with his son on the seafront.
This is the newsagent I told you about, where basically it all started. I was walking along here and I walked in this door and turned to where Gareth was reading his Spin Train books, and this is where it happened, just the other side of this door, where I'm like, what's going on? Go and look at the books on the far side. What? And that's where it started, 1990, March 1990. And I never thought it was going to lead where it has, but it has. Yeah.
Well, it's a great beginning. Platform fun.
Him saying it, you know how he knows the date of when everything happened and how everything went down? That is what you call a form of deja vu. Something told you, wake up. Whether it was a word on a bread bag or whatever, and it cracks your spell, it breaks your code.
In simple terms, there is a predator race which take a reptilian form. They're feeding off humanity. They've turned humanity into a slave race. They demand human sacrifice. That's where Satanism comes in. They feed off human energy, particularly feed off the energy of children.
Latest revelations have been about the moon. Far from a lump of benign rock orbiting us, it is in fact an artificial construct, a gigantic spacecraft, probably a hollowed-out planetoid. It is from the moon that the nefarious Illuminati manipulate the collective human mind, warping our perception of reality.
I'm saying it's broadcasting something, that it acts as a blocking frequency that stops us seeing and perceiving things that we would normally perceive. That is creating what I call the moon matrix, or the Saturn moon matrix, and it's basically having the effect.
And one thing about it is like that none of this works on me. I know that I grew up around people that were Christians and stuff like that. At one point I grew up around Rastas. I grew up around all type of people. And when I went to church with family members, which I hated because the energy, and then also I felt like it was a school play, like they were actors. There's a way to deliver information without doing all that extra stuff. And then also, you guys are unaware. I knew this as a kid. I'm like, the information that you guys are providing is insane. You know, they're saying slave must obey your master. They're practicing incest. They're practicing molestation and pedophilia in the Bible. It's a lot of crazy things. And I'm like, who wrote this? Because the victors always write history. The government in a lot of places have one agenda, that they're pushing certain things out. I also see that they limit what they put out too. A lot of different places put out different information. Some countries have Netflix, some have Hulu, some don't. And it's just, you know, I'm like, this is all kind of interesting. How they control us.
Effect of the fake reality in the Matrix movies.
I guess that makes David the Isle of Wight's very own Neo.